Hey everybody, welcome back to Spirit Plays More of the game we all know and love. First off, I just want to say, dude, thank you for the comments that you have been putting in videos. I know there's not too many, but they are amazingly encouraging. Feedback is great. Conversation is amazing. That being said, I understand you could be watching, some kind of Seinfeldian, Northern Lionian type of stuff. You choose to, watch me. I try to put at least a little bit of purpose and thought in every single video if I can help it. Sometimes I forget, and I get, we all get drug into things here and there. I forgot that this was a thing. You know what I mean? But so I appreciate that, and I will continue to, please, to make more, because I think it's relevant. Dude, I just look too happy. I look like a underpaid bellboy. Hello, cat. Welcome back. You've heard me talk, and it's time to enjoy the warm lap of Master. Dude, I woke up this morning, and what are we doing? My dog, I know what I'm doing. I'll explain in a minute. What's going on with this outfit? I forgot what I was doing. So my wife and I sleep in it. We have a king-size bed. We have banished my 8-year-old to her own tiny bed. We have a bunk bed set. Cat, get up. We have a bunk bed set we're gonna set up for our daughters. But for the time being, since they're separate, and I don't trust my 2-year-old with a bunk bed setting, and my cat with... Dude, my wires are stuck under this rolling chair. Why do I have this rolling chair in a carpeted area? So we put the bunk bed on the floor. Our 8-year-old's allowed to sleep in her room for the time being. I mean, this is probably what we want. Except for that, I don't think I need this. No. Yeah. We can do that. Gremlin very high? Where have you been all my life? So we'll just be like... this one. We're gonna go to the Jelly King. So I figured... No. Come on, buddy. Chess pieces are back, which is very interesting. I think this will work out. Like, wait, do we even need the Valance? Not really. We could just do, like... We're not really necessarily speedrunning the sucker, but... And I was trying to heat this black cat cow, which we probably should get up there. We're trying to avoid redundancy. Like, I can afford 12. When it gets to like 50, maybe I'll go to the 70% mark. But you never know. They're like 0.00005% chance for radiant brain. Come on now. I have a radiant. We're so close to level 10. Ooh. Please. Hiya. We're gonna be heating 1, so I think I'm just going to. Yes. Beautiful. All right. So what I was saying is, you could be watching the thoughtless type of meanderings in the background, but you choose to watch me. I try to pop some information there, here and there. I like theological studies. Let's give it like 10 seconds, and we'll see if somebody else comes in here. But okay, so today there's two. We're studying the 7 deadly sins in our studies here. Keeping the shield, by the way, because it's just freaking glorious. I think we can do with this. Just these 2, right? And what exactly are you up to there, brother Mike? It's amazing how high the frame rate is with we probably don't need that specifically. The higher the frame rate is with no people in here. Mike, what can you do for us, buddy? Pierce resistance, I suppose. What else do we don't really get? I guess swift steps. Goodbye, musicality. The liquefier. It makes sense too, I guess. We didn't have a full charge. Dude, Chaos is just so broken. Alright, let's go. We got this. But let's see, I just recently read a 20-page chapter in this book on the topic of sloth. So sloth is actually very complex. Modern day secularism will, it puts the nothing but. So it reduces complex issues to simple issues. Even though the evidence for design goes in the opposite direction. You see something created amazingly complex, and you go to something way more complex. And you can look at this and like the argument for just books, right? Books itself are complex, but the people who write the books are even more so. Why do those little tiny ones have more stopping power than a giant slime? I will never know. That's okay. Sometimes you just don't know things. Not necessarily speedrunning the thing. Might as well get some heat over here. I'm trying to heat our graviton bomb. And we should probably get some radiance maybe for dreams and nightmares. You can join me on that beautiful excursion that we go on. But the sin, like sloth is a tough one, because it's hard when someone says, "I'm not worthy of life. Why should I do anything? Why bother?" That's so the secularist will say, "Well, you just need more drugs." Well, then how did people live before the age of like opioids, etc., etc.? It's curious, right? How did people get to where we are now with that kind of mentality? It's worthy of thinking about anyway. So I know some people listening to this, because it's being of young mind or anything else that's going on in one's life, it's easy to fall into that kind of lie, and that's actually exactly what it is. It's more of a how did we do that? It's more of a lie. It's called false self-talk, and the problem. Pardon me. Where are you at, Graviton? The problem we run into with that kind of self-talk is it's like you need kind of a God perspective to break out of it. Otherwise, you do suffer for the nothing butism, right? You're nothing but clinical depression. You're nothing but chemical reaction. I mean, you gotta be really careful with that stuff. 'Cause that kind of stuff. Forgot this was the thing. Dude, what would life be without sound effects? Oh, my face. Moment of focus for dude. I haven't done this boss in literally like half a year. It's been so long. I remember farming this guy forever. Back when boss like missions weren't even a thing. Probably should have gotten the combustor too. Who needs a graviton bomb, really? Might help us out in the arena rooms. But anyway, you have to follow what sloth is. Besides, it is chemical. Don't get me wrong. It's a combination of both. The same kind of argument goes for the sexual orientation, and you have to watch out what your identity is in. So usually people arrive at a sense of, whether it be by growth hormones, etc., but usually people arrive at sloth. It's not something that just pervades you. No child is really born with a mopey attitude, right? They're all born inquisitive. There's things that come along with childhood that we're all involved in. So I'd like to assume so. Look at red robotic Keebler elf. There's no zoom in, right? I need a mirror. No, freaking bunny disfigurement. Weirdo. Anyway, so it's actually like it's described as mainly a lie when it comes to truth speak. Right? I am not worth it. I will never recover. These are all things you tell yourself. This is not reality. Usually when you go... Whoop, jump back, please. Thank you. When people are so into this kind of mentality, it's self-talk. I mean, you have the word of the world, which does apply to a lot of this, right? Which says, yeah, compared to everyone else and their skill sets, you are obviously not valued. So believe the lie. But that's not true. If you're made in the image of God, it's you cannot think that way. You can, but it's in violation of truth. Does that make sense? So it's amazing how God kind of fits into literally everything. That's like the number one Dude, there's a guy that wrote an encyclopedia series, and he said that the biggest section there was on God, because a lot of the things that derive out of life come right from God. So the sin of sloth, it's difficult because you see it. If you are not, if you, pardon me, if you are one of those people who is uninspired or are inspired and see it in like a friend or a spouse, you know, one of the common ways that psychologists use, which is the guy who wrote this book, is saying, was there ever a time when you were not feeling this way? So what is the difference between then and now? And what's usually happening, and it's highly situational based, so if you're suffering for this, don't consider my word gospel, and this doesn't work, then nothing will. But it's like, if there was ever a time you were not feeling this way, well, what is stopping you from feeling that way again? And this is that's where it comes to. You have to gauge that, and because it is, sloth is basically a lie saying it is not worth it, when life itself basically like dictates otherwise. So anyway, I just thought it was a very interesting read. That's only a little bit of it. They use examples. Pardon me. They use 2 examples. You're not dead. Dude, that guy was hanging on by the most beautiful thread I've ever seen. Now this is where Mike is just amazing. Did you see that? Stunned and fired. Mike, you make a great boss. Your eloquent speeches, fireballs coming out of your mouth. Come on in, buddy. DUI. There's 2 D's in it. Be part of the crew. Be part of the fun. Part of the ship. Part of the crew. You know. You get to sleep, and you get to sleep. Oh, Java. Beautiful. You've done it. You came just in time. Anyway, like it's hard to motivate this. So anyway, the 2 examples that are used in the book, one is of a guy who's literally clinically depressed, and his thoughts start leading him toward, and the guy obviously is a Christian psychologist. I mean, you take that in perspective, because he has what ultimate reason he can kind of go back on. I guess I can get rid of these. If you're happy and you know it. Throw some pills, by the way. Thank you. What is the point of even... You can't drop those anymore. What's the point of even doing that? I don't know. Anyway, we're also going to gauge how many, like, we need for the graviton to enact itself. And probably do dreams and nightmares accordingly. I don't know. Dive down into a arcade who hopefully doesn't have compounds as an option on depth 28, which we're just, like, magnetized toward. Anyway. Well, so one example is a guy who's his wife is either dead or left him. It doesn't really explain it. That's and then but he has kids, but he has constantly depressed thoughts. You know, just thinking of ways to end his life, that kind of thing. So but he seeks help. He's like, every time he does that. Luckily, kids are like the anchor. Kids are amazing, by the way. They are a great reason for life. Just the innocence and joy, and I mean, if you watch any of the videos of my kids, just love and life in general, carefree. But it has to come with boundaries, right? It's not something that can be held in a vacuum. Sure, tiny child, go run anywhere you seem fit, especially in traffic. Traffic. There have to be boundaries in life. There have to be. This guy is like the ultimate set. Why didn't I bring my griffin? What's wrong with this guy? Well, he's got the moves. This guy's got moves for freaking days. Is that like a little winder in your back, dude? Just rotating? Is it rotating? Hold on. I gotta see this. Oh, let me see your costume. It does rotate. He's a ticking time bomb. Oh, we can't split up on this one. Oh, thank you, dude. Well, come on, let's just go this way. Oh, good idea. fear no spikes. Huh! Help me! Blah blah. Blah blah. They cannot be healed. Thankfully, the spikes went down. That was a mistake. Alright, let's go. So that's one issue. The other example is a lady who husband left her for a younger woman. And she's 48. She had this beautiful garden, everything else, used to cook, and then he left her, and so her whole life was gone. And that's straight up a question of identity. So even if you attach your identity to another person, not even necessarily another thing in this life, it's destined for death because people die. That's just how it is. It means your identity dies with something that's, terminal. Everything in this life is terminal. There's even heat, death in the universe. I mean, you spin it any way you want. You got to put your identity in something else in order to really get along. Then that's when you can buy into the lie, right? Like, what's the point? Everything dies anyway. Why should I put my identity in anything? There's no such thing as God. Well, that's a blatant, at least in my opinion, case of not looking at the evidence. Go get a mic. Oh. The other one, so she left her. Sorry, my brain kind of faded for a minute there. So the guy's like, was there ever a time where you didn't have your husband? How did you, what was your life all about then? What exactly happened? What were the triggers? Like, what made your life amazing? That was the charge, right? He didn't just single shot that dude, I hope. Oh, you smarty pants, I should have done that too. Grab myself apart. Anyway, sloth is not something we suffer from. I suffer from the opposite. Like today, what is it? It's like 2:23 a.m. I woke up at 1. Could not fall asleep. Let me get back to what I was talking about, my daughter and her sleep pattern. So I woke up, and if you look at the, we were like the letter H, alright? My wife and I were at either side of the bed. My daughter was, like, horizontal as opposed to vertical. It was amazing. I don't know how she was sleeping like that. And literally in, like, a U shape, because her head was on my wife, and her feet were on me. Probably one of the reasons why I woke up. So it was pretty amazing. Could not fall back asleep. Just was beyond me. Oh, man. I can take out, like, legions of people. I can test that hit, and that one too, by the way. I can take out legions of enemies. But I can't take out a block with my gun. It's okay. Anyway, so she slept in an H. Oh, I thought it was a loved one. My mistake. Ah. Come, little silkwigs, be part of my bug collection. Anyway, kids are amazing. That's all I'm saying. They never cease to be amazing. The joy and wonder of life, and then they'll cry 2 minutes later over a simple injustice, which we all know and love. Dude, I want a minigun now. Is there any other... Is there like other... See how ignorant I am. There have to be, right? An element for every type of gun. Pepper box is obviously my go-to. I don't know if this is even worth it, but here I go. Yeah, that didn't get him. Boom! Dude, Mecha is freaking... What is going on with my computer? Come on now. Too early in the morning to make round things square. They lose definition. There you go. Speaking of definitions. You ever hear this one? God does not exist because he can't do everything. Can he make a rock that is so big even he cannot lift? Bam, God does not exist. Like, first off, you're using the consistent laws of metaphysical logic to disprove an entity who's beyond even metaphysics. So, but that's beside the point. Secondly, things lose definition. Even God is held by his definitions. He's consistent in Scripture. Can you make... We're talking about square things, round things being square, right? Can a square have rounded sides? Can a circle have edges or points? No, they lose definition. God, by definition, cannot do that because first off, is judged in a material plane he created, so he could change the appearance of something. But if you change the appearance of something, it by nature loses definition. So the whole question is just flawed, really. Can left be right? That's basically like the same kind of question. So, anyway, you just gotta be careful with philosophical questions like that. I know we're getting into some deep thought here in the Jelly King. Come on, buddy. I don't have the appropriate item to slay these. Hey, Mike, you are the form of justice in this arena. We need you. If there ever was a time for your judgment, your stunning, fiery wrath, Mike, now's the time. Others cannot see it, but I do. Here we go. Ah! Stunned and fired and exploded. Oh, running. Why is your movement speed reduced with that bomb? That's so ridiculous. Oh, done it. Oh, Mike, your judgment. We've been calling upon your metaphysical proclamations more so now than ever. Oh, please, no. Mike, will you have the last word? Yes, no. Dude, guide moves. Like more moves than a U-Haul, am I right? This music has the happiness factor that I love and enjoy. Anyway, let's do this. This is one type of area where I'm overqualified. Sorry, that's the wrong screen. There we go. Perhaps we will not get our Graviton Vortex all the way up, but we will watch the jelly melt. I tried my hand at speaking of useless conversation, I tried my hand at making actual Jello the other day. Actually, yes. What is Tino's Ranch? I gotta ask. Now the world will know. Hello, Saichi. Are you like... Hold on. Oh. Do you have like... Why are you bubbling? Oh, it's your bomb. Dude, my brain. Ugh. Mike, we need you again. Oh my gosh. We're probably overdoing it. I mean, is there a meaning behind... This is my brain. Is there a meaning behind a thing called Tino's Ranch? This is a better way of asking the question. Oh! Oh no. This thing just melts so fast. By the way, I tried making Jello. I actually did. It was successful Jello making, which I loved. It was delicious. Cost pennies to make. By the way, when's this gonna be a thing? By the way, Grey Havens. By the way, is that like a happy face emoji you drew on that? Only if you kind of twist it in a weird way. Anyway, I forget how much this pays out with in crowns too. I think we're up to another energy level. I don't know what I'm really saving up for. Sure. For your little brother someday. I'm not saying I'm expecting Mike. Someday we might have another. Fred still has to grow yet. The crowns. Anyway, thanks for watching. Guys, enjoyed it. Click like, subscribe if you want to see. Oh, I'm so jealous. Mecca, you're amazing. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.